Arman was a quiet boy who lived in a small crowded neighborhood where everyone knew each other's business. He was not the strongest, not the smartest in school, and definitely not the most popular. Every day he walked to school with his head down, listening to people whisper that he would never do anything great in life. Those words slowly became a heavy weight in his heart. His father worked long hours as a mechanic, and his mother stitched clothes late into the night to support the family. Despite their struggles, they always encouraged Arman to believe in himself. But school was different. Teachers often ignored him, and classmates laughed whenever he tried to answer questions. After a while, he stopped raising his hand altogether. One afternoon, while returning home, Arman saw an old man struggling to fix a broken bicycle on the roadside. Something inside him pushed him to help. He remembered watching his father repair machines and decided to try. With patience and determination, he managed to fix the chain. The old man smiled warmly and said, "You have skill, son. Never think you are useless." Those words stayed with Arman. For the first time, someone outside his family saw potential in him. That night he went to his father's workshop and asked to learn more about repairing things. His father was surprised but proud. Slowly, Arman began spending his evenings learning how engines worked, how tools were used, and how small problems could be solved with focus and calm thinking. At school, nothing changed immediately. The teasing continued, and sometimes Arman felt like giving up. But now he had a small secret: he was learning something valuable. Every screw he tightened and every machine he fixed gave him confidence. He started noticing that while others laughed, he was building real skills. One day, the school generator suddenly stopped working during an important event. Teachers panicked as the hall went dark. Arman hesitated but remembered the old man's words. He quietly walked to the generator, examined it carefully, and found a loose wire. With permission from a teacher, he fixed it within minutes. The lights came back on, and everyone stared at him in shock. For the first time, the same classmates who once laughed at him looked at him with respect. A teacher patted his shoulder and said, "You have talent we never noticed." Arman smiled shyly, realizing that sometimes people fail to see your worth, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. That day was not the end of his struggles, but it was the beginning of a new chapter. Arman finally understood that believing in himself was more important than anyone else's opinion. And deep inside, he felt that this was only the start of a much bigger journey. After fixing the school generator, Arman's life slowly began to change. The same students who once ignored him started asking for his help with small repairs: broken calculators, loose bicycle chains, even jammed classroom fans. At first, Arman felt nervous. He wasn't used to attention, and a part of him feared that people were only pretending to respect him. But each successful repair made him more confident. One evening, his father surprised him with a small toolbox of his own. It wasn't new, the metal was scratched and the handles were worn, but to Arman, it felt like a treasure chest full of possibilities. "You've earned this," his father said proudly. Arman promised himself he would use his skills to do something meaningful. Soon, word spread around the neighborhood that Arman could fix things. Neighbors started bringing old radios, fans, and toys to him. Some people paid a little money, while others simply gave him thanks and blessings. Even though the earnings were small, Arman felt proud contributing to his family. His mother's tired smile when he handed her his first earnings was something he would never forget. However, success also brought new challenges. A few classmates grew jealous of his new popularity. They whispered that he was just lucky and that repairing machines wasn't a real talent. One day, someone even hid his toolbox at school as a prank. Arman felt hurt and almost gave up again. But this time, he didn't let their actions break him. Instead, he focused on improving his skills and learning more from his father. Determined to grow, Arman began watching free educational videos at a local internet cafe and reading old repair manuals he found in second-hand shops. He practiced late into the night, sometimes failing many times before finding the right solution. Each mistake became a lesson rather than a reason to quit. A few months later, the city announced a Young Innovators competition where students could present creative projects. Encouraged by his parents and one supportive teacher, Arman decided to participate. He built a simple machine that could generate small amounts of electricity using recycled bicycle parts. The project wasn't perfect, but it showed creativity and determination. On the day of the competition, Arman felt nervous seeing students from expensive schools with advanced equipment. For a moment, he doubted himself. Then he remembered the old man's words and his father's belief in him. When it was his turn, he he explained his project with honesty and passion. To his surprise, the judges appreciated his creativity and practical thinking. Arman didn't win first place, but he received a special recognition award for innovation and hard work. More importantly, he gained confidence and respect from people across the city. As he walked home that evening, holding his certificate tightly, Arman realized something powerful: success wasn't just about winning. It was about growth, courage, and never giving up on yourself. And as he looked toward the future, he knew that this was only the beginning of an even greater adventure.